Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Friday, January 16, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. 2 hours of piping hot sports talk. It is the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Hope you're getting ready for a big weekend. And usually on this day, it would be all about football. But it is not all about football. In preparing for the show, you're preparing to talk about the outrageously aggressive contract given to Kyle Tucker by the LA Dodgers. But the Mets pivoted. They were in on Tucker. They offered him a great deal at about $55 million a year. The present day value for Tucker is $57 million a year, which the Dodgers gave. And the Mets pivoted. And about 20 minutes ago, it was announced that they have signed Bo Bichette, formerly of the Toronto Blue Jays, and Bo gets himself a 3-year, $126 million deal. There are opt-outs after the first year and after the second year, which means that he could be a free agent again when he's 28 or if he's 29, and then if he goes to full 3 years, if he's 30. So he's in pretty good shape. Bob Nightingale of USA Today comes out and says that the Phillies and Bichette had pretty much gotten a deal done late last night for 7 years at $200 million. But when the Mets lost out on Tucker, they pivoted. They contacted Bichette's people, and they gave him this short-term, high-value deal. And there you go. The Mets get themselves Bo Bichette. Now, it's hard to actually, if you're a baseball fan, to criticize the Mets for picking up Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette's a really, really good player. In 6 of the last 7 years, he's hit .290 or better. Last year, he hit .311 with a 3.5 WAR. But the thing that doesn't make sense is the words of the president of baseball operations, David Stearns, right after the season ended. It was all about run prevention, which means he wanted to improve his defense. Great. Sounds good, right? Well, he goes after Tucker, who was not a good defender, so you were willing to put Tucker and Soto in the outfield. That didn't work out because Tucker took the Dodgers' money. Now you pivot to Bichette. So you got rid of Pete Alonso because he wasn't a good defender, and you didn't want to go 5 years at 150. Instead, you go 3 years at 126 for Bo Bichette, who's 27 years old. Bo Bichette is going to play third base for the Mets. Bo Bichette has never played an inning in the big leagues at third base. You're going with Jorge Polanco at first base. He's essentially never played an inning at first base in the big leagues. So what happened to run prevention? I guess that was your intent, and it kind of slipped away the way the winter went, and you said, well, if we can't prevent runs, let's score them. Also opens up this question. Brett Beatty was going to be the third baseman. What happens to him? I don't think the Mets are in on Bellinger. I never thought they were in on Bellinger. I never thought the Cubs were in on Bellinger. And I never thought the Dodgers were in on Bellinger. So I think the Yankees probably sit right where they are at the 5-year offer at about $160 million. And if he could get more money and more years somewhere else, I think the Yankees would say, okay, fine. That's what they'll let him do. But I think they hold firm with their number. As for the Mets, does Beatty become an outfielder? Does Beatty become trade bait where they need to get another pitcher? Do the Mets now also pivot and make a big bid for Framber Valdez? All decent questions. It's funny, we keep talking about how baseball should have a deadline to have a great run of everybody talking about baseball when everybody has to sign. And I don't think that's ever going to happen because the agents know that that would probably play against the players. But aren't we getting that now? So you just don't get a chance to pick when that frenzy will happen, but it's happening now. In a week that we should be talking totally about football, especially here in New York, we've talked an awful lot of baseball, and there's still more to come. Either the Yankees sign Bellinger or lose him, and then you decide, well, what's up next for them? But right now, the Mets get themselves Bo Bichette. So they get a really good bat-to-ball guy. They get a guy who doesn't strike out that much. I think he struck out under 100 times this year. They get a guy who is not a great defender. His numbers at shortstop were not good metrically. Now, he played second base in the World Series because, remember, he hurt his knee against the Yankees in that collision at home plate, and he played very, very well in the postseason. He had that big 3-run home run off Ohtani in Game 7. He's a big-time player. He's a clutch player. He's a stud, but he's not a good defender. So what the Mets did with their free agent signings, getting Polanco and getting Bichette, is they improved their lineup, or did they? Because they lose the home runs of Alonso, but they made sure their lineup's going to be able to produce runs. Stop runs, that's a different story. Marcus Semien is a good second baseman, so they improved there. Lindor's a good shortstop, so they're solid there. We'll see what they do in the outfield. Do they make a play for Harrison Bader and put him in left field? Carson Bengue will be in center, and then Juan Soto, who graded out metrically as the worst defensive right fielder in the game, he'll be in right field. So if you're a Met fan, do you feel better because you got Bichette? Do you feel crestfallen because you lost Tucker? Now, I know that Met fans are going to be going up and in on Steve Cohen. You know, I thought he was never going to lose out to anybody. How could he lose out to anybody when it comes to money? Now, he did prove that when he got himself Soto, because I think Soto was the guy that he had to have to prove his financial might. But he has lost out on Edwin Diaz because of money, and he has lost out on Tucker, it turns out, maybe because of money, maybe because Tucker wanted to be, I don't know, the fifth most important player on the Dodger lineup. He didn't want the pressure of being in New York, maybe. But Met fans thought they would never, ever lose out on a player that their team wanted. Well, the Mets wanted back Diaz. They lost out on him. The Mets obviously wanted Tucker, and they lost out on him. And I think the Dodgers have something now that is even more important than money. People want to play there, the weather, the team. Players think it's their best chance to win a championship. The Dodgers won 2 in a row. You'd have to say with the addition of Tucker, they are the overwhelming favorites to repeat. Players want to get rings. And also the Dodgers pay them. The Dodgers just don't like to hand out long-term contracts on some players. They looked at the charts on Tucker, and they said, well, he might not age that well, but he's probably got 4 really good years left in him. So they overpaid for those 4 years. Just think about this, everybody. Kyle Tucker's a nice player. He's not Juan Soto. Next year, he'll make $6+ million more than Juan Soto. The Dodgers get what they want. They've got an overabundance of money. They have an owner who has an insatiable desire to win. Take a look at the numbers now on this. Their projected payroll for the upcoming season is $396 million. That's $90 million over the final threshold. Last year alone, they paid $169.4 million in tax. And they paid $150 million more in revenue sharing. And while doing all this, everybody said, well, we don't like to sign, and the Yankees use this too, we don't like to sign players that have been offered the qualifying offer because you got to give up draft picks. Well, by signing Diaz, the Dodgers forfeited their second and their fifth best pick of the year, of the upcoming draft. By signing Tucker, they forfeited their third and their sixth best pick this year. Also forfeiting international bonus money. So you would say, with the Dodgers making all of these types of moves, right? Well, their farm system must be getting ravaged. No. In most of the charts that you read and you respect, they have the third best farm system in baseball. Their research and development is off the charts. They're picking people in the later rounds, and they're making them big-time prospects. And one of the reasons they signed Tucker to a 4-year deal is that they have 4 outstanding prospects coming up as outfielders. The Dodgers have found out the secret sauce, and I know because of the Tucker signing, on top of Ohtani, on top of Yamamoto, on top of Sasaki, there's going to be the hue and cry that it's not fair to everybody else. Please, if it was your team, you'd be fine with it. When the Yankees were doing it, going out and getting Jason Giambi, going out and getting Mike Messina, going out and getting Mark Teixeira and CC Sabathia, Yankee fans didn't say a peep. So they can't say a peep now. They can't. The power has shifted to the West Coast. The Mets, they dreamed of this when Steve Cohen bought the team from the Wilpons. The ability to buy anybody and have the highest payroll in the world. Well, now because the Dodgers have taken that mantle from you, you can't complain. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be so naive that owners are not going to complain. And maybe the Dodgers' largesse when it comes to giving out these contracts, maybe it is now solidified the fact that the owners are going to go to the mat to get a salary cap, which might ensure that there is not a 2027 season. I hope it doesn't come to that. I think the thing that has stopped them in the past is that the big money teams have fought against the smaller market teams. I don't know if they'd all fight that right now because they see a beast in LA that they can't tame. They can't tame them. So the only way to tame them is with rules, a new CBA that doesn't allow them to spend as much money as they spend. But fans, if you're a Yankee fan or a Met fan, you can't complain. If you're a Philly fan, you can't complain. If you're a Blue Jay fan, you can't complain. The Dodgers are playing by the rules. They're not circumventing any rules. So when the CBA was put together and they allowed that loophole to defer as much money as you want, the Dodgers took advantage of it. They have a salary tax that taxes the Dodgers 110% on every dollar they spend over 304. The Dodgers laugh at that. They have punitive damages where you lose draft picks and international signing money, and the Dodgers laugh at that. Nothing has worked against the Dodgers. There are no speed bumps that stop the Dodgers. And can you blame the Dodgers for continuing to do what they want to do? They spent a lot of money last year in their bullpen. It didn't work out, so they overspent their mistakes by getting Diaz. And very quietly, the Dodgers are getting older. Look at the age of Freeman. Look at the age of Mookie Betts. So they get younger now by getting Kyle Tucker. They know what they're doing. They're smarter than everybody else. And even though they keep losing draft position, they keep drafting players that they develop into greatness. So please don't say this is not the way the Yankees did it. This is the way the Yankees did it. But the Yankees also had the core 4, and they filled places around them. They went out and got Gary Sheffield. They got Jason Giambi. They traded for A-Rod when a lot of teams couldn't afford that money. So the Yankees used to have the financial advantage over the Dodgers, and they took advantage of it. Well, the Dodgers have a financial advantage over everybody else, and they're taking advantage of it, not doing anything illegal, not doing anything immoral. They're trying to be great every single day. Don't kill them for that. Every other organization either has to get smarter or go to Rob Manfred and go, we can't operate this way anymore, and we need a salary cap. And if they do that, the Players Association will fight back, and they'll fight for a long time. And it will become a situation of who's going to blink first. Because you think the Players Association wants to give up the ability of a Kyle Tucker to make $60 million a year and Bo Bichette to make $42 million a year? No, they don't want to give that up. They're not going to give it up without fighting. We are going to talk with Buster Olney about all the ramifications of what's going on these last couple of days, but I want to talk to you as well. It's going to be a heavy phone call day. I'm sure a lot of Yankee fans are upset. Met fans are a little hurt. Fans of baseball might have different feelings as well. Let's go. 1-800-919-3776. We'll start off with, let's go to Jack in Albany. Start off with Jack.
Hello.
Hello, Jack.
Mr. K, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little upset about the Yankees here. I mean, what do you make about all this with them not even being involved in these short-term deals?
Well, I don't think they had any desire to get Tucker, and I don't think they had a desire to get Bichette. So let's see what happens with Bellinger. If they don't get Bellinger, then I think people could have a complaint. They did not want Tucker, and they did not want Bichette. They never even looked into it. I mean, I think they checked in, but I don't think there was any burning desire for them to get him. They didn't want him.
I just don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like these guys, they make the team better. They would make the team better, right? So why are we not looking at them? I mean, Cashman and Hal spent more time this year talking about how it's not fair to assume the Yankees don't turn a profit than they did about just talking about not being happy about advancing past the DS. The Yankees are going to barely sneak into the wild card this year.
Well, I mean, we'll have to see how the season plays out. And Brian Cashman never said anything about losing money. It was Hal Steinbrenner answering a question that was posed by the New York Post, John Heyman, which he probably even should not have addressed. He just should have said our finances are our finances. But I think that might be part of the positioning to get the sport of salary cap. I don't know. I don't know why Hal Steinbrenner said that. And it raised a lot of eyebrows around sports. Because if you look at the revenue stream that the Yankees have, and then to say that they're barely breaking a profit, or maybe not even making a profit, that made a lot of people raise their eyebrows. I don't know why Hal even answered that question. Let's go to David on the east side. David.
All right, Michael, 2 quick points. Hopefully you let me make them both. One, I get that the Yankees used to be the biggest spenders, and now the Dodgers are, so shoes on the other foot. It's hard to take the criticism, but I don't think it's an equal comparison. Let me ask you a question. Who was the biggest free agent acquisition of the 90s dynasty, meaning a new player who was acquired by free agency?
Well, the dynasty was built because of the farm system, because the Yankees were awful for a couple of years, and they drafted high.
Exactly. No, so I think what the Dodgers are doing, getting every top free agent, is a little different. So just something to keep in mind.
David, it's really not, my friend. It's not. The Yankees got everybody they wanted. If they wanted somebody, they never lost out on them because of money. They got everybody they wanted. Now, they didn't need as many free agents because of the fact that they had the core four. But when Tino aged out, they went and spent more money than anybody wanted to spend on Jason Giambi. So they did the same thing. They just didn't have the needs that the Dodgers have. The Dodgers fill every need with their money.
Fair enough. Maybe agree to disagree. Here's the real point I wanted to make. Kyle Tucker's signing bonus was $64 million. Mm-hmm. I believe he keeps that even if he opts out after the second or third year. And I think it also circumvents any labor outage in 2027. What are the Dodgers doing? I mean, what scares me about the Dodgers is they're willing to pay that much for players who are not that good. I know Tucker's a top free agent, but he's not that good.
Well, David, he's a good player. I mean, this guy has never been below a 4 WAR. He's a good player. Is he Juan Soto? No. Is he Aaron Judge? No. Here's the one thing I want to bring this up too. So the Dodgers go out and get everybody they want, right? Everybody. Why didn't they make a run at Judge? I don't understand that. And I also don't understand, why didn't the Mets make a run at Judge? I'll never be able to get that answer. I mean, other than Ohtani when he's pitching, Judge is far and away the best player in baseball. And right now he makes $40 million a year, which seemed onerous at the time. And right now, well, Kyle Tucker's making $57 million a year. Soto's making $50 a year. Why didn't the Mets or the Dodgers go after Judge? The Padres and the Giants did, but the Dodgers didn't. And why did the Dodgers go hard after Soto? Maybe because they don't like those long-term deals. You could see they try to keep the deal shorter. Let's go to Dave in New Jersey. Dave.
Morning. Hey, Michael. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to call in and I want to talk about, I don't think there's two things I wanted to say. One, I don't think Hal Steinbrenner is a bad owner, but if you look at it and why he tries to run it like a business, it is his business. So I think he'd be best, if the Yankees want to get back to it, he'd probably have to sell the team, which I don't think will ever happen. And two, I think their biggest issue isn't not necessarily being able to sign players, because they have been able to sign the pieces. They can't develop guys outside of Judge and Rice. Volpe was a flop. Wells is good defensively, but Wells doesn't really give you much value offensively. I can't stand Jazz Chisholm. He just makes way too many mental mistakes, like little league mistakes. So I'm frustrated because I feel like they don't develop enough talent. And if you look at what the Dodgers do, everyone looks at all the money they spend. But look at the guys like a Muncy or like an Andy Pages. Those were the unsung heroes for them last year, Miguel Rojas. So as much as the Dodgers spend the money, they also bring in the right pieces that fit, which hasn't been done by the Yankees in years. That's why I'm upset, because it feels like Brian Cashman is, at this point, should be fired, because he's a good general manager, but just like John Harbaugh in Baltimore, maybe it's time for him to go somewhere else. What do you think?
Let's put it this way. It's what you are looking at, and I keep saying this, and Yankee fans don't want to hear it. It's what you're saying is failure, and to what the Yankees are saying is success. So if Hal thought that Brian was failing, he would get rid of him. He would get rid of him. But they obviously don't look at it that he's failing. Because it's hard to say he's failing when they won 94 games last year, the same amount as the Blue Jays. Now, I know the Blue Jays kicked their butt in head-to-head, but they both won 94 games, which was the most in the American League. It's hard to say he's failing. Now, it's hard to argue with you about research and development with the Dodgers because they don't pick high in the draft, and their farm system's the third best in baseball. But you can't just cavalierly go, well, all the Yankees have developed is Aaron Judge. Well, they've developed one of the best right-handed hitters in the history of the game, and he was picked at the end of the first round. That's a big feather in their cap. Clark Schmidt, developed by the Yankees. Will Warren, developed by the Yankees. Cam Schlittler, developed by the Yankees. And if you look around baseball, there are more Yankees, people out of the Yankee farm system, than any other team. So I'm not here to defend them. I'm here to explain and answer your questions. So you keep saying that Brian's failed. But they obviously don't think he's failed. Because if he failed every year since 2009, don't you think he would have been let go? Maybe they don't think he's failing. And nobody wants to give the fact that the Yankees actually went to the World Series in 2024. I keep hearing the nonsense, well, they had an easy path to it. That's crap. They got there, and then they lost in 5 games. But they got to the World Series 2 years ago. They won more games than any other team last year in the American League. And you're saying they're failing miserably? Now, if you judge failure by they haven't won a World Series, then I have nothing to come back at you. But obviously, Steinbrenner does not judge it that way. If he did, they'd be gone. He's not judging failure that way. He's judging, does Cashman every single year put a team that has a chance to go to the World Series? And he does. Now, you'll probably say, well, not this year. Well, let's see. Let's see what they do. Let's see if they bring back Bellinger. Let's see if they make another move. Let's see. Because I don't think the Mets are done yet either. Let's see. They get Bichette. Let's see if they go out and they get Valdez. Let's see if they make a trade for a big-time pitcher. Because now, Beatty becomes expendable. With Polanco, Vientos becomes expendable. Other than Benge, probably all their minor leaguers and McLean are available. And they have a very good, stout farm system. Let's see if they use that now to pick up a big-time pitcher. And then Met fans might be happier. Maybe the Yankees make a trade for Freddie Peralta and bring back Bellinger. Would you feel better then? It's still over 3 weeks to go before they report to spring training. You got to give it some time, and then at that time, we can really be critical. Buster Olney is going to join us in just a moment. FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boost means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. Do you like Seattle over San Francisco at home after the bye? Maybe you like Buffalo to keep riding Josh Allen over Denver. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The St. John's Red Storm head to Philly to face Big East rival Villanova. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7:40 on 1050 ESPN and the ESPN New York app. It's another Super Saturday on the Fine Line, and The Wiz has you covered. Saturday at 8 a.m., The Wiz talks about all 4 NFL playoff games, including Buffalo at Denver. Can Josh Allen get another road win? What about the Rams at Bears? Plus Knicks, St. John's, Rangers, all in action. It's a loaded show with free picks, and The Wiz talks about the College Football National Championship when Miami takes on #1 Indiana. The Fine Line with Joe Wiz, Saturday at 8 a.m. It's the best bet in town. Be ready to win.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Looking for the best meat and seafood at unbeatable prices? Get to Wild Fork Foods. They offer the widest selection of meats and seafoods you'll find anywhere. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. From beef and poultry to seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, you'll get the best value for your buck. Visit one of their 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, your neighborhood's meat and seafood market.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a time out to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering buy one, get one 50% off and every day 0% financing. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends January 31st, 2026.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those?
Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. So it's about baseball. The Tucker signing yesterday, the Bichette signing about an hour ago by the Mets. Now we bring in our good friend, baseball expert from ESPN, and that is Buster Olney. Buster, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's super fun right now. I know, people have clamored for a deadline for signings, but at some point, the teams, the players, they get down to business, and this is what you get. Big names going off the board.
All right, so what surprised you more, the Mets pivot to Bichette or the Dodgers going all in on Tucker?
The Mets pivot to Bichette, given the fact that, the offseason began with David Stearns talking about run prevention. And now, because, the Mets had missed out on other targets, they wind up signing a third baseman who's never played third base. And desperate times call for desperate measures. And I know from talking with executives with other teams, they really feel like this was a case where Steve Cohen, at some point, given the unhappiness of the Mets fans after, so many well-liked players go out the door, and they miss out on Kyle Tucker. And it was clear from Steve's tweet where he's talking about waiting for the smoke to emerge. They thought they had an excellent chance at Tucker, and instead they wind up pivoting and spending a lot of money on Bo Bichette and keeping him away from the Philadelphia Phillies.
I do wonder, Buster, if there's a disconnect by having such a dynamic owner like Cohen and then getting a cerebral GM that wants to outthink everybody. And I think like last year, Cohen overrode Stearns to get Alonso. And I don't know if Bichette is the type of player that Stearns would make a run at simply because he kept talking about run prevention. And on each corner of the infield, they have guys that never played that position. I think that Cohen is overriding a lot of Stearns' plan.
I agree with you that Cohen's presence, I don't know if override is the perfect word, but I agree with you because when you think about where the Mets started this offseason, where they landed, it doesn't fit. It's like puzzle pieces where, it's just a little bit off in terms of what the execution was. And at some point it's Steve's team and he can do what he wants and he knows he's got an unhappy fan base and he, certainly had to green light the handling of Alonso and the trade of Nimmo, the trade of Jeff McNeil. He had to go along with that, but this certainly has the feel of an anxious owner going out and signing a player who I seriously doubt that in the Mets' first planning meetings of the offseason that they thought that they'd wind up the winter paying Bo Bichette, $42 million a year to play third base. I can't imagine that was something that came into play until the last couple weeks.
When Cohen bought the Mets from the Wilpons, the thought process was, I would think, that he was going to be able to get any player he wanted. He was going to outbid them, and he proved that with Soto. But he lost Diaz, and they wanted him. And now he lost Tucker, and they wanted him. He got outbid by the Dodgers. So is his money just – it doesn't mean as much as we thought it did? And do the Dodgers have more money than even Steve Cohen?
Yeah, well, they certainly do, and it seems like a willingness to go that far. Think think it. Their payroll, when you include luxury tax, their cost of doing business this upcoming year is going to be, again, close to $600 million. But I do think a lot of it now comes down to, if you're a player, what's the more attractive place to play? You can play in New York where the scrutiny's greater. And I'm thinking of this from Kyle Tucker's perspective. You can go to New York where scrutiny's greater, and it's not something that he has necessarily veered to during the course of his career. Or you can go to the Dodgers, who are willing to pay, increasingly willing to pay more and more money to players to retain the best players. And on top of that, if you're Kyle Tucker, you're hidden. If you're a media member and you walk into that clubhouse, he's about the ninth guy you want to talk to after Ohtani, after Mookie Betts, after Freddie Freeman. I think for Kyle Tucker, that's absolutely perfect. So I think in this case, it was not only about, what the Dodgers offered, which was extraordinary. To make Kyle Tucker the highest paid player on a per year basis is absolutely, again, not something we thought of before the year began, but also the fact that he can go there and not have much media demands because of the popularity of the other players.
All right, while you were talking, Robert Murray reporting that the Phillies have responded. They have given JT Realmuto a 3-year, $45 million contract with a chance to get to $60 million, according to sources. So I would assume, Buster, that if they got Bichette, Realmuto was out, they would go with a lesser catcher. Bichette's gone, so then they pivoted back to Realmuto.
And I'm sure that it was shocking for them to not get Bichette because they had, $200 million on the table and they had a plan to go that way. I think in the end, JT was going to go back to the Phillies regardless of what happened with Bichette. There was talk that it was one or the other. I just, knowing the owner there, how much he cares about winning, where he also understands that fans don't care about his bottom line, I think he would have found a way to do both. But, now with Bichette off the board, they got to figure out a way to make it work with the guys that they have, and that includes JT, who is so important for their pitching staff.
All right, so you have Framber Valdez left. He's the marquee pitcher left, and you have Bellinger left. And a lot of people, when the Dodgers signed Tucker, they felt, well, now the Yankees have to deal with the Mets for Bellinger. And I've heard all winter that the Mets didn't have an interest in Bellinger. I don't think the Yankees move off of Bellinger. I think that they want $5. That's the deal that they're going to offer him. And if somebody swoops in, like Toronto, I think the Yankees will stay where they are.
Completely agree. And given what the Blue Jays have with Barger, with the depth that they have in their outfield, I don't think they're gonna extend themselves for Cody Bellinger. Look, you and I have talked about this. Cody Bellinger was a perfect fit for the Yankees last year. They loved his versatility. They loved the defense. They loved the athleticism. But the reason why Bo Bichette got paid today and Kyle Tucker got paid yesterday is they are considered to be elite offensive players. Bichette leading the American League in hits, 3 years in his career. Tucker, being the great combination of on base and power. And the bottom line is that during the course of Cody's career, he just has had a lot of ups and downs offensively. And I think that's where, why the Yankees are holding the line. I think they love him to the degree that they're willing to give him a 5-year contract, but are they willing to go absolutely bonkers and give him 7 years? I think that's pretty clear. The answer is no. And now the question for Scott Boras is, can he, who represents Bellinger, can he go out and find, with so many of the teams now having filled holes, can he go out and find another team that's interested in him? And keep in mind, with the signing of Tucker, I think a lot of people in baseball are wondering, is Teoscar Hernandez, who's a corner outfielder for the Dodgers, does he complicate the outfield market now? I talked to people today who said that Teoscar Hernandez has been available in the trade market, and he's a power hitter. He's considered to be a subpar defender. Does he become a name that other people talk about? Brendan Donovan of the Cardinals, a couple of years ago, he played 125 games in left field. Does he become another name? Does he become someone that a team like the Yankees, takes a look at? We'll see. I agree with you. I think the Yankees are basically going to sit on their offer and hope that at some point Cody Bellinger and Scott come back to them.
All right, so now take a 60,000-foot view of what happened yesterday with Tucker, where he's making more, by $7 million than Juan Soto will. And Juan Soto's a better player, a better hitter at least. is baseball broken? Now, I started the show, Buster. I don't begrudge the Dodgers this at all. This is the Yankees 20 years ago. They could go out and get whoever they wanted. And the Dodgers are doing that, and obviously they're making the financials work. Will this lead to a work stoppage where the owners are insisting on a salary cap just to stop the Dodgers?
I've told you before that I think that a lot of the, I don't agree with a lot of the assessment that we're definitely headed toward a major work stoppage where we lose part of a season or a significant part of a season, because I just don't, to this point, see a coalition on the player side where, they're going to vote against a new deal. And I don't know what that's comprised of. I know the owners, that they're absolutely aiming for some kind of a salary cap, some kind of restrictions. I don't think this deal changes that. I agree with you that, there's always been a version of the Dodgers in baseball. The bottom line is that when baseball, salary, financial structure was first put in place, which was the beginning of the 20th century, this horse went out the barn door a long time ago. There's this disparity between teams, and there always has been. Whether it's the Yankees using the St. Louis Browns as essentially their farm system, or the teams that George had, and in the 90s, they spent a lot more than other teams. It's just that every year we get, examples of this where, Kyle Tucker's making $57 million, and it would represent, 3/5 of what the Pirates are going to pay their entire team. There's a tremendous disparity. And any fan who thinks that there's a level competitive, playing field or aspiring for that might as well be thinking about, asking for world peace. It just doesn't exist, and it never will. And I still think in the end, you have an owners running a successful business, and the players, the majority of whom want to work and have seen the average player salary go up. I think that in the end, they will wind up working out a deal. The question is, how messy does it get?
I will tell you this, and maybe I'm way off base, but I get the sense that if there is not a salary cap gotten in the next CBA, there will be a lot of teams that will decide to sell, because you need people that have billions of dollars of disposable wealth, like the Guggenheim partners, in order to compete with the Dodgers. So even Steve Cohen, I don't even know if he can compete with the Dodgers, and he's got $22 billion in personal wealth, but how much of his personal wealth does he want to spend? The Dodgers, thanks to Shohei Ohtani, they're printing money, and they're spending it, and I give them credit. I think that people will cash out and go, we can't play in this side of the pool anymore.
Well, I think they feel there will be teams, I think, who will feel like, you know what, we're not going to try to chase them. We're going to work in our own market size. In some respects, that's what the Pirates have done, right, over the last decade, where, they essentially have decided we're not going to compete. We're just going to make a lot of money. And their owner, Bob Nutting, has held down payroll. And that's what, if you're from the Player Association, what they're going to try to sell to the rank and file players is the idea of, hey, we need a reason to compel these other teams to compete with the Dodgers. This is why we want the salary cap, and we want a floor. It's going to be fascinating because you and I have talked about this. I just think that the union at this point is really vulnerable. It felt like the last time a lot of the players from Latin America voted for the labor agreement that the executive committee voted against. And I don't know if that group is going to vote necessarily against some sort of a deal that would allow them to go back to work. And that is a weakness that the union, I think, is going to have to overcome as we talk about the salary cap.
Amazing couple of hours, 12, 15 hours in baseball, and I think there's going to be even more interesting things to come. Buster, thanks for coming on.
All right, Michael, great to talk with you.
All right, there's Buster Olney. So Tucker a Dodger, Bichette a Met, the Yankees waiting on Bellinger. So Bellinger and Valdez are the two top free agents that are still out there. Who do they sign with? Do the Mets go out and get another pitcher? If the Yankees don't get Bellinger, what's their pivot? Is it a trade for an outfielder? Or do they just put Jason Dominguez and or Spencer Jones in left field and roll the dice? All questions. Now I want to talk to you. A lot of unhappy people out there. It's the K Show rolling till 3 right here on ESPN New York. The experts at PC Richard & Son use a 4-step mattress fitting process to make sure that your new bed fits you perfectly. PC Richard & Son.
Benjamin Franklin, sir, I've just received news.
Speak.
They're multiplying you.
Multiplying me?
Yes, many times.
Multiple Benjamins?
Shall I stop it?
No.
Multiply your Benjamins with New York Lottery's Extra Multiplier Scratch-Off games. Play for the chance to multiply your winnings up to 100 times. Prizes up to $3 million.
I've won! I've multiplied myself!
We won! Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Show your team spirit and say big only at Security Dodge during the Start Something New sales event. For a limited time, score an extra $500 off on top of all rebates and new incentives. Just for coming in and wearing your favorite team's jersey or swag. High school, college, or pro, football, basketball, hockey, and every sport in between. It's easy to win big at Security Dodge in Amityville. Visit us today or shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com.
Are you ready?
Movies are a place of dreams, and this year, Song Sung Blue captures that spirit like no other. Based on a true story, the New York Times raves it is exactly the movie we need right now.
If you're there with me, I am not afraid anymore.
And now Kate Hudson is an Actor Award nominee for Best Actress in the Best Picture of the Year, Song Sung Blue. From Focus Features, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13, now playing only in theaters.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Welcome to Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, where excitement never stops. Unleash the fun with 2 floors of gaming action, featuring 1,000 cutting-edge video and electronic machines. Enjoy exceptional service at a prime location that places you right in the heart of Long Island's excitement. Stay and play in style with over 200 hotel rooms and treat yourself to a full range of dining options at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
All right, game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7:30 tonight. Nets host the Bulls at Barclays Center, and that is a vehicle for yes tonight. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Let's get to the phone calls. Let's go to Rich in Brooklyn. Rich.
Michael, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Rich?
All right, Mike. I'm going to say a couple of things,
all right,
which you never said. First of all, as far as Cody Bellinger, if he really wants to play with the Yankees, he can tell Scott Boras, look, I'm going to play for the money that the Yankees want to give me. That's number one.
Well, then why did he hire Scott Boras if he's going to do that? You hire Scott Boras because you want the last dime.
Okay, all right. And as far as the Dodgers, the Yankees don't have to worry about the Dodgers unless they play them in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets have to worry about them because they have to go through them.
Yep.
So when you say, oh, the Dodgers – hello?
Go ahead.
So when you say, oh, they have to worry about the Dodgers, you know, I mean, the Yankees have to worry about beating the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Orioles, and the Tampa Bay Rays in the East. All right?
And the problem, Rich, I'll tell you, I don't think the Yankees build a team to beat the Dodgers. They build a team to get out of the American League and to win the American League East. So I don't think they're sitting there worrying about the Dodgers. You're right. You get to a best-of-7 series, you can knock off the Dodgers. I mean, the Padres needed one more win, 2 games at home 2 years ago, and they got shut out twice. They lost a bullpen game the Dodgers pitched in Game 4. Last year, the Blue Jays had several opportunities to win and beat the Dodgers. So it doesn't mean they're unbeatable. It means that they're awfully tough to beat. I think that Yankee fans are concerned about the Dodgers because they see in the Dodgers what they used to be. And I love the fact that Yankee fans say, we've never been like that. Yes, you have. Let's look at the initial championship with George. Oh, okay? Catfish Hunter. One of the first free agents. The Yankees swooped in and got him. Reggie Jackson. You don't think those two guys played a big role in the Yankees winning those championships? The last championship the Yankees won, A.J. Burnett, C.C. Sabathia, and Mark Teixeira. Now, they didn't get A-Rod as a free agent, but they're one of the few teams that could afford that contract. Remember, the Red Sox made a deal for him, but they wanted him to cut salary, and the union wouldn't let him. And the Yankees still acquired him. Yankees used their advantage of money, and they used it very, very well. And Yankee fans didn't have a problem with it now. So Met fans and Yankee fans can't really have a problem with the Dodgers. You can't. Dodgers are playing within the rules of the game. They are. And to say, well, because of the core 4, well, the core 4 was the base of what they did. I understand that. But they supplemented that base with important free agent signings. That's how they kept it going. And they were able to pay the core 4. So when Derek became a free agent, or was going to be a free agent, the Yankees had the ability to give him that 9-10-year contract. Bernie, they overbid what the Red Sox offered him. So they didn't get those guys as free agents, but they kept that team together because of the fact they had more money than everybody else. So now the big, bad, evil empire has shifted to the West Coast. And now you don't like it. Well, either you change the rules of the game, or you have to just think differently about the way you build your team and whether or not you want to make or lose money with your team. Let's go to our good buddy Morty in Plainview. Morty, what do you got?
Michael, how are you this afternoon?
I'm fine. How about you?
Points, if I may.
Sure.
I'm good. I'm a management guy. I always have been, and I'm always going to lean that way. I can't deny anybody taking the money as long as they don't take it with a gun in their hand. I will say this, however. There was a time when it meant something to be a Yankee. The reason other teams didn't go after Aaron Judge is because he said, I'm proud to put on a Yankee uniform. I'm proud to spend my career in Yankee Stadium. I think Brian Cashman, with all the issues I have with him, and Hal Steinbrenner as well, I think they're lousy salesmen. I think if I called up Cody Bellinger and said, Cody, give me one night next week when you have dinner. I want to talk to you.
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to circumvent the agent.
I'm not. Why not?
Because you're not.
Why does
Look what happened when Jerry Jones circumvented the agent and went right at Michael Parsons. He ended up losing him. You're not allowed to do it. It's considered unethical.
Are you telling me that Michael, you're telling me that these multi-million-dollar athletes allow themselves to be led around like children by their agent?
Yes.
Do you mean to tell me that if I offer Cody Bellinger $150 million and I sit down with him and I say, Cody, let's forget the money for a minute because there's enough here to set you and your family, your children, your grandchildren's children up for the foreseeable future. I'm talking about Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Berra in a stadium that was built for you. We took you last year, after a not-so-great year, and we treated you generously. How about some consideration? It works both ways. $150 million, and you're going to say no because the guy across the street offers you 151 or 155?
But Morty, when you say that Howland and Cashman are bad sales, Bellinger enjoyed the year that he was here. I think he wants to stay here. But when you hire Scott Boras, you're trying to get the last dollar. He knows that they've offered 5 years, 160. He hasn't accepted it yet. Boras says there's more out there. There's nothing that Hal or Cashman could do. Their sale, which they thought with Soto as well, spend a year with us and see the way we treat our players. And obviously that didn't work with Soto. And from what you hear, it did work with Soto. But there were outside forces, most importantly his family, that wanted him to go to the Mets, so he went to the Mets. I think that Aaron Judge is just a different bird. He's built different. I think he realized the value of being a lifetime Yankee and having number 99 out on the wall in left center field. There was more money to be made by the Giants and the Padres, but he took the Yankee offer. It's not like he took a huge discount, $360 for 9 years. And at the time, it looked like an unbelievable overpay. It's not now. Do you know that just off of statistics where they actually put the value of a player, last year that Aaron Judge was worth $85 million in production, and the Yankees paid him $40. And if he was not as honorable as he is, you know what would happen? He'd probably go in, I want my contract renegotiated. Because that's exactly what Scott Boras has done with Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper signed a 13-year deal with the Phillies. At the time was unbelievable, and it averaged about $27 million a year, maybe even a little less than that. And he had the hubris to go to John Middleton, the owner of the Phillies, a year and a half ago and said they want to tack more years on. He's already taking into like his 42nd year with the 13-year contract. Judge isn't doing that. And by the way, the Phillies are not doing that with Harper. But, people of lesser virtue would go, you know what? I want you to tack on a 10th year on my contract at $80 million because it's ridiculous that Tucker makes more than me, that Soto makes more than me, that Bichette makes more than me, but he's not going to do it. That's not the way he's built. The Yankees are very, very fortunate they have that young man because without him, somebody would replace him, but nobody of that talent and nobody of that character. They're very fortunate to have him. Very fortunate. Otherwise, they'd be in some pickle. Because his contract now is antiquated, and it's only 3 years old. Antiquated. Kyle Tucker is nowhere near the player of Aaron Judge. Nowhere near it. And he's making $20 million more a year. Bo Bichette's a really good player. He's making more money than Aaron Judge. That's why the Yankees have to really build upon the last couple of really productive years of Aaron Judge's career. Otherwise, it was all for naught. Hey, boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. ESPN New York has your chance to score tickets on the ESPN New York app. Just find the contest tile and submit your entry. Brought to you by Madison Square Garden. This one fight is one you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and catch every round live on DAZN. All right, line up the calls because a lot of people want to talk about Tucker, the Mets pivot to Bichette, and Bellinger, what's going to happen with Cody and the Yankees. It's all on the buffet for you. You become the co-host in this final hour. I have not lined up any guests. We'll make our two-pack for sure picks at the end of the hour, but it's me and you for the final hour right here on ESPN New York.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Murray to the net. Score! The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat. Barzell for Horvat, score! Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Make cancer screening a part of your annual healthcare routine. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, cervical, prostate, colorectal, breast, and more. Regular cancer screenings could save your life by detecting cancer at its earliest, most treatable stages. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
With Progressive Customer Service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last 2, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
My name's Brian Windhurst, and I've seen a lot of good offense in my life. If you're looking to initiate some offense of your own against your high-interest credit card debt, I'm letting you know a SoFi personal loan might be the play. A SoFi personal loan could be quite the triple threat, with low fixed rates, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. View your rate for a SoFi personal loan at SoFi.com/offense. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply at SoFi.com/offense. NMLS 696891.
Welcome back to the show. It's a big baseball day, despite being a football Friday. Kyle Tucker shocked the world by signing a 4-year, $240 million deal with the Dodgers. You do them. It was funny because I was watching something on TV, and my son was in the other room last night, and I wasn't looking at my phone, and he comes running out and said, Kyle Tucker signed with the Dodgers. And I said, what? I said, for how much? And he said, 4 years, $240. And I said, that's $60 million a year. I'm sure that everybody did that. They did quick math in their head. I didn't know until Charlie told me. And, you know, people thought, well, there's going to be a lot of deferred money. I believe there's $30 million deferred, $10 million each of the first 3 years. And then there's like a $60-some-odd million bonus, $67 million bonus, which kind of offsets a possible work stoppage in 2027. So it's worth $57 million a year. And I'm telling you, the Dodgers are doing, for the most part, is that they don't mind paying high average annual value if it's for a short-term contract. And the Yankees have always operated in a different way. Remember, they were negotiating with DJ LeMahieu, and he said he wanted $90 million. Now, the Yankees had wanted to give him a 4-year deal, but they didn't want to go 4 years, $90 million, because they didn't want to affect the average annual value, which would go up against payroll. So that's why they spread it out over 6 years. That's exactly why they did it. They didn't look at it as a 6-year contract. They just wanted to amortize the $90 million and make it $15 a year, which makes the last couple of years of the contract completely ridiculous. But the Dodgers look the other way. It seems like they don't care about the tax. They don't care about superseding the luxury tax, and they'll give a higher average annual value. And the Mets, operating on the same assumption, and that's why they gave Bo Bichette the money they gave him for 3 years, which means he averages $42 million a year with opt-outs after each of the first 2 years. Because they don't care about the tax. But the one damage that does to the rest of the industry is that now the top dollar that people are going to be looking at is the $60 million for Tucker. They'll say, well, the highest paid player is 60, and the next time a great player becomes available on the free agent market, they'll say, well, he got 60. They're not going to say, well, the Dodgers just wanted a 4-year deal. They didn't want like an 8-year deal, and they didn't care about the tax ramifications. Well, 60 now becomes that point, and Bo Bichette's 42 now becomes another point. And then when you look at the contract that Boris got Soto last year, that's a legitimate $50 million a year. That's not deferred. That's not deferred. And it becomes $55 million a year after the 5th year. So people were aiming at that, and now 60 is because Kyle Tucker's not Juan Soto. Bo Bichette's not Juan Soto. Shouldn't even be in the same stratosphere. But that's the way it works. So you've got two teams that are weighing the benefits of a short-term deal so they don't have the bad last years of a contract, and they don't care about the tax they're paying. So many things have to be fixed if you really want to make it equal. Because if you look at the taxes that the Dodgers are paying, it's superseding the payrolls of most teams, the taxes they're paying. So when it comes to payroll, it's $395 on the payroll. And then when you look at what they're going to pay in taxes, last year it was $169 million in taxes. It's going to be well over that. So it's probably be closer to like, $190. And then on top of that, they have to pay revenue sharing, which was $150 last year. So they're going to pay, to put this team together, close to $700 million. And they don't care, and they're still making money. The thing that makes me laugh is, when people celebrated Peter Seidler, the owner of the Padres a couple of years ago, that, he threw caution to the wind, and he's throwing money at people, made a big offer to Judge, and gave all that money to Machado and Bogarts and Darvish and Tatis. He was superseding what the team's revenue was. And he was only doing that because he knew he was very, very ill and didn't have long to live. And he wanted to bring a championship to San Diego. That payroll does not get supported by that city. The revenue they generate cannot support that payroll. Now, if you want to argue the Mets can support it, well, not if you look at their revenue. Steve Cohen's pocket could support it. So if he wants to lose money, which he has over the last 2 years, then he could go crazy. But that's not money he's going to get back. The only thing he's going to get back is the joy of winning a title. Now, you could say the Yankees make a lot of revenue, contrary to what Hal said in that Zoom call, where he said he's not going to say that they make a profit. But when you look at the revenue streams, you would say, well, they probably could spend more money, but he's not, an insurance company like Guggenheim Partners. That's a family business right now. So they do want to make a profit. And does he want to be Peter Seidler and go crazy and go get everybody and lose money in the process or come close to losing money? The thing that I push back against is the people that are on social media and go, all the Yankees want to do is make the playoffs. They don't care about winning the World Series. How could you say that? Their payroll is going to be $320 million again. How could you say they don't care about winning the World Series? Please, the people that continually harp on that, anybody, please, you're welcome to call in. I'd like to debate that with you. How do you know they don't want to win the World Series? And my question to you would be, if they don't want to win the World Series, don't you think that they could make a playoff team in the American League with a $250 million payroll where they wouldn't be paying 110% tax on everything they spend over 304? So I think they do want to win a World Series. As for the Mets, with the Bo Bichette contract, which comes out to $42 million a year, you know what that's costing the Mets to get Bo Bichette? $88 million a year. $88 million a year. I never thought that Steve Cohen would be on the side of the owners that want a cap. He might be seeing the future here where there is no too much for the Dodgers. And Steve Cohen doesn't want to keep reaching into his personal fortune to fund the Mets. Because when you look at what the Mets make from their television deal with SNY, it's about 90 to 100 million. You know what the Dodgers make off their television deal? Do you know what they make off their television deal? They make over $350 million each year on their television deal. So the Mets payroll, what they make, their revenue, they're losing money every single year. So you're expecting Steve Cohen, who's filthy rich, to go into his pocket and keep funding a losing proposition. He had their payroll last year was more than the Dodgers. More than the Dodgers last year, and they won 83 games and didn't make the playoffs and lost out to the small market Reds. How much do you think he wants to keep reaching into his pockets and funding the Mets and losing money? And it's funny, the Mets looked at him as the almighty when he bought the team from the Wilpons. Here's our salvation. We've now got our version of George Steinbrenner. Hasn't worked out that way. And I think he's actually starting to irritate some of them because of like the tweets from yesterday. I'm waiting for the smoke to come up. I think at that time he really felt that Tucker was going to sign with the Mets. So that kind of tweet annoys Met fans when they don't get the player. And I think that the Cohens are starting to understand you can't have rational discussions with fans. They want everybody. That's why they stopped the convention they would have at Citi Field like they had last year. They got rid of it. Alex Cohen, Steve's wife, and one of the owners of the Mets, she got rid of her Instagram. Steve Cohen is not as active on social media as he was. You can't win unless you win every single year. You know the only owner in sports that's winning right now? Mark Walter of the Dodgers. Dodger fans have nothing to complain about because there's no end in sight. They get everybody they want. They overspend for that player because I believe, I disagree with people that called up earlier, Kyle Tucker's a hell of a player. $60 million a year, he's not worth that. But they're getting older. They wanted an outfielder before their young outfielders in minor leagues become ready, and they paid him whatever he wanted on a short-term deal. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Rob in Sayreville. Rob.
Mike, how you doing, man? Nice to hear from you.
Nice to hear from you, man.
So I want to just put a little bit of a positive spin on the Yankees right now, and I think it's an element of baseball that, not enough people talk about, and that's chemistry and consistency of the roster. Now, granted, I'm hoping the Yankees will get Bellinger, but even if without him, right? This roster finally feels like it's a cohesive unit. You hear Paul Blackburn a couple weeks ago say that when he came over, there was a great chemistry in the air. The teammates cared about each other's success. That's a good thing in any sport, and especially I think in baseball where it's about picking your fellow teammate up, keeping the spirits high. So I want to paint that positive spin on the Yankees that I don't think enough people are seeing, and I think that if you carry this roster, this good energy, this good chemistry into next season, a 94-win team, you add Garrett Cole, you add a full season of Schlittler, you could be looking at 100 wins.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for them to get to 100, Rob, and with all due respect, I like a team that gets along, that pulls the rope in the same way. I don't care if my team hates each other's guts as long as they win a championship. So you're keeping together the vibe of a team that got eliminated in the division round. I mean, that's an arguable point. Yeah, they all get along. They all pull the rope in the same way, and that was something that Aaron Boone said. But unless you win, what does it mean? Not many players on the 77, 78 Yankees like Reggie. Worked out. All the Oakland A's back in the 70s hated each other's guts. They won 3 World Series in a row. I don't care about chemistry. I really don't. I think chemistry wins games. I think winning games breeds chemistry. Now, the Yankees do have an ace in the hole, and that's Judge. He's a uniter. He's a unifier. No one gets left out. The lowest guy on the team, the 26th man, Judge treats him the same way. That's important. But the most important thing is winning. So keeping a vibe together, a team that didn't win, that doesn't do much for me. Let's go to Steve in Middle Village. Steve.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it.
My feeling about all this is that Major League Baseball financially has jumped the shark. I'm not blaming the Dodgers because, as you said, they're playing by the rules. But what you said earlier, I think to Buster, is a real issue. I think that you have owners now. Guggenheim, I just looked it up. Guggenheim Partners has $330 billion. I mean, that's their a bunch of their investments.
Right. This is a toy store for them.
Exactly. Steve Cohen has billions, but it's a lot smaller. I did for fun, I looked up last year when all this, you were talking about it, a lot of people talking about it, about how much money Hal Steinbrenner has and all these other people. The Yankee ownership is a lot smaller in terms of net worth than the other owners. I mean, the Atlanta Braves are owned by Liberty Media. Toronto's owned by Rogers Media. You're going to have an issue now where only major conglomerates are going to be able to afford baseball teams.
Absolutely.
Unless something happens. And I think that the biggest – I was never a big backer of having limits on salaries, but the limit – how can you root for a guy, even if he has a bad year, a bad streak, and he's making $60 million a year and he can't really field, but he can hit good. The fun of rooting is that you try and root for the underdog. I don't know. I'm an old fan, but that's just my opinion. And I'd love to hear more about what you're going to say about this.
Well, I really believe the years, Steve, of a family owning a team, they're going to be in the rearview mirror. Look at Mara and Tish. Now, Tish has, his millions in other things, hotels and movies and stuff like that. The Mara family, the Giants are their business. So they had to bring in an investor, Julia Koch, for $1 billion for 10% of the team. So I just think that the valuations of franchises now have gone so through the roof that an individual really can't afford it. Hey, Steve Cohen bought the Mets, for $2 billion? We could probably sell them now for $8 billion. Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, said that he's been offered $15 billion for the Dodgers. What do you think the Yankees would get on the open market? All you need is two ego-driven hedge fund lunatics that want the Yankees as their toy. Yankees could probably fetch $15 billion. So I think, again, a family only owning a team, and that's their business, they're the dinosaurs. They are. Now, the Yankees do make a lot of money. They have revenue. They splintered off into, Legends Hospitality with the Cowboys, so obviously they have a lot of money that they can derive from that, and then the Yes Network did well for them as well. But all of the income is derived off the Yankees. So we'll see what they do. We'll see exactly what they do. Let's go to Ted in New Jersey. Ted.
Hi, how are you, Mike? How you doing?
I'm good, Ted. How you doing?
Okay. If they don't get why is the House so much involved in being in the negotiations with the other owners? I think he's actually the one in charge, for the next
he's one of the head guys.
One of the lead owners.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think he's banking on a salary cap, and maybe it's that he knows he's going to make a big profit with the Yankees, with the Yes Network, and with everything, and he stands the most to gain by putting in a salary cap, because in this way he can compete with the Dodgers, he can compete with any team, and invest the money internationally in the draft and in the scouting over all the other teams, and then he would be able to compete with the Dodgers. If there's no cap, he may say, I could sell to somebody like, let's say I could sell to Amazon, who would be a big thing. He could sell the Yes Network and everything to Amazon, and they would know they could make even more money than he could in it.
Well, I've always thought, Ted, that I never understood why the Yankees would be for a salary cap, because I said that it would take away their greatest advantage, which was to outspend everybody else. That advantage no longer exists. So I don't know. I have no knowledge of the inner workings of the organization and what they're considering or anything like that. But if there is not some limit on spending, maybe he would consider selling. I know the family doesn't want to sell. I know his two sisters are dead set against it. All of his nephews and nieces who work for the team, they're dead set against it. But at some point, if it's not financially doable to stay relevant, because you've got a conglomerate that owns the Dodgers who really are putting $700 million into payroll this year, I just don't think that's doable when that's your only business. Maybe they bring in investors, but it's hard to bring in investors because there are investors. I think the Steinbrenner family owns a little over 50% of the team. So let's say 48% of the team is owned by other investors. So it's not like you could say, okay, I'm going to sell 20% of my team for $2 billion. Because then you might lose control. But again, this is at a level of payroll that's beyond me. I'm just spitballing here. But if they don't have salary certainty, I even wonder if Cohen would get out. How many times does a brilliant businessman like Cohen, because he made his money from scratch in investing, how many times does he lose money in his endeavors? I would say not too many. Joe in the Bronx. Joe.
Hey, what's going on, Michael? Thanks.
Hey, Joe.
So I just wanted to maybe give a positive outlook. Is it not, I don't know, better as Yankee fans, like, to look at it in a positive way these past, 18 hours or so? Because, I mean, listen, even though, Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, they didn't sign with the Yankees, they didn't sign with the Blue Jays either. So the Blue Jays not only didn't get better, they actually got worse than last offseason. I think with or without Bellinger, I know you said the over-under wins, the Yankees had them on 3 or 4 wins. So even with or without Bellinger, they still are, projected to beat the Blue Jays. And
but let me stop you for 1 second, Joe, because I like the way you're thinking. But there's a big one. What happens if the Blue Jays get Bellinger?
So that's what I was thinking. But you were saying they didn't really need outfield help,
right?
So that's why I'm.
But they you know what? They went after Tucker though.
Right, but I mean, but Tucker's a different player than Bellinger.
Right.
So he's a special talent. Bellinger's good at defense, but you want a hitter like Tucker. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I think we should look at it in a positive way. Maybe have a chance at the East, a higher chance than we did last year.
Well, you know what? I like the way you're thinking. I do not think the Blue Jays have taken a step forward. Springer's a year older. Varsho and Springer are both in the final years of their contract. They got the kid Ponce. They got Dylan Cease, but they lost Scherzer and they lost Bassett. Now they've lost Bichette, who is one of the heart and souls of the team. So I think they're a really, really good team, but I don't think that they've taken a seismic jump from the team that won 94 games. And if the Yankees bring back Bellinger, they kind of remained even. You could say, well, you know what? They have Schlittler for the full season. They have Cole for, starting in June. That's all true. And they have a different bullpen configuration and a much better bench. We'll see. The Blue Jays beat them up last year, but I don't think the Blue Jays got better. Now, the Red Sox, they might have gotten better. I know they lost Bregman, but they got Contreras. They got Suarez. They got Sonny Gray. I think there's still a deal to be made for them to bring in an infielder. Maybe they trade a Jarren Duran. So they could still get better. I think the Red Sox have gotten a little better. Because remember, at the end of the year last year, Bregman was hurt. He was not the same player in the second half as he was in the first half. He's a clubhouse presence, so that's a loss for them. But Contreras is an upgrade over Casas. Let's see what they do. I believe they need another infielder. We shall see. But I don't think anybody's run away in the American League East. And, the first step you have to do is get into the playoffs. We'll see if the Yankees can get into the playoffs with what they've put together. Hey, it's Michael K. Not sleeping? Well, it could be your mattress. That's why I always recommend my friends at PC Richard & Son. At PC Richard & Son, they don't just sell you a mattress. Their experts use a 4-step mattress fitting process so that your new bed fits you perfectly. They guarantee it. Top brands like Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. And in-home delivery on any mattress $199 and up, it's free. So do what I do, and I really do this. Get to PC Richard & Son for your new mattress. Free delivery excludes Manhattan.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com. Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Show your team spirit and save big only at Security Dodge during the Start Something New sales event. For a limited time, score an extra $500 off on top of all rebates and new incentives just for coming in and wearing your favorite team's jersey or swag. High school, college, or pro, football, basketball, hockey, and every sport in between. It's easy to win big at Security Dodge in Amityville. Visit us today or shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com.
Welcome to Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, where excitement never stops. Unleash the fun with 2 floors of gaming action, featuring 1,000 cutting-edge video and electronic machines. Enjoy exceptional service at a prime location that places you right in the heart of Long Island's excitement. Stay and play in style with over 200 hotel rooms and treat yourself to a full range of dining options at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness, so you get restaurant-quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
Are you ready?
Movies are a place of dreams, and this year, Song Song Blue captures that spirit like no other. Based on a true story, the New York Times raves it is exactly the movie we need right now.
If you're there with me, I am not afraid anymore.
And now Kate Hudson is an Actor Award nominee for Best Actress in the Best Picture of the Year, Song Sung Blue. From Focus Features, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13, now playing only in theaters.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Rich Eisen here. Hiring for your small business can feel like a full-time job, but LinkedIn Jobs AI Assistant takes the heavy lifting out of it. It filters applicants based on the criteria you set and suggests 25 great fit candidates daily so you can invite them to apply and keep things moving. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen, then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI Assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI Assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, forget about wins, all right? No one in this city is better at letters than the New York Rangers. No one. Remember a couple of years ago, they sent a letter out to their fans. They're going to rebuild. Well, a new letter from Chris Drury just came out. So he tells you about the struggles this year, blah, 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 right? And then the second paragraph, that's the one. With our position in the standings and injuries to key players this season, we must be honest and realistic about our situation. We are not going to stand pat. A shift will give us the ability to be smart and opportunistic as we retool the team. This will not be a rebuild. This will be a retool built around our core players and prospects. We will target players that bring tenacity, skill, speed, and a winning pedigree with a focus on obtaining young players, draft picks, and cap space to allow us flexibility moving forward. That may mean saying goodbye to players that have brought us and our fans great moments over the years. These players represented the Rangers with pride and class and will always be part of our family. As we start on this new strategic plan, we will continue to play hard with pride and passion for our fans. We appreciate your unwavering support for the Rangers more than we can describe, and thank you for all that you do for our organization. You will begin to see some of our plans come to light in the coming weeks. LGR, which is Let's Go Rangers. Wow, I feel sorry for Ranger fans. So if those are all important things, Chris, why didn't you build the team like that in the first place? I mean, just asking for a friend. I don't quite get that. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow is coming to Northwell Health at Jones Beach Theater on Wednesday, August 26th. And ESPN New York has your chance to score tickets on the ESPN New York app. Just find the contest tile and submit your entry. It's brought to you by Live Nation. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Give you our picks a little bit later on. Coming up at 3, Don, Hahn, and the other guy. They're on for the afternoon drive portion of our radio station. Let's go to Kevin in Brooklyn. Kevin.
Hey, how's it going, Mike? How you doing?
Good, Kev. What's up?
How's it going? Thank you for taking my call. I've been a long-time fan.
Thank you.
I've been watching since I was probably like 5 years old with my grandfather.
Oh, cool.
So pretty much, I'm not upset. I'm not totally upset at everything that's been going on with the Yankees, but one thing that I can say is that being that Aaron Judge is in his prime today, it would be nice to accommodate him and have all those great players around him. Like a Bichette would have been nice. I agree with you that the qualifying offer to Trent Grisham could have been something else, like another outfielder, or let Spencer Jones come up and show what he's able to do in the major leagues, since he's getting a lot of hype to his game. It would have been really good to see Bichette on the Yankees, or just anyone that can help the team be better, because I don't see how bringing the same team again, what it would do, or how it can be successful.
Well, and remember one thing, Kev, going into the postseason last year, it was Aaron Boone's contention that this is the best team that he had going into postseason. They were really confident that they were going to go all the way. They were. But then a bad game by Fried against the Blue Jays, bad game by Rodon, and their season's over. So maybe they feel, you know what? If those guys pitch the way they're supposed to pitch, it's a different story. I don't know what they're thinking. I think Bichette would have been a nice fit on the Yankees. I really do. It would have allowed them to maneuver other ways. They could have put him at second. Then they could have moved. Jazz, because in all likelihood they're not going to give Jazz a long-term deal. This is the last year of his deal, and then you have Bichette locked up. And the one thing that the Yankees lack is that they don't have a lot of contact hitters. Bichette's that guy. Bichette's not a big swing and miss guy. So I think you need fewer swings and misses in the lineup. But they didn't seem. I think they checked in on Bichette, but they didn't make a hard offer. I don't think they ever made an offer, and they didn't seem like they had an interest in Tucker at all. That's why when when people say the Yankees keep missing out on everybody, I don't think they missed out on anybody yet, according to what they wanted. Now we can argue whether or not they should have wanted them, but they didn't miss out on anybody that they wanted. So the people that had been signed were not people that the Yankees were going after. They're going after Bellinger. So if they don't get Bellinger, you could say, okay, they missed out on him. You could say that. But they haven't missed out on him yet. It's going to be very interesting to see if they do. Rico in Buffalo. Rico.
Michael, once again, it's an honor to be able to talk to you.
Thank you, Rico.
I have a question, and I hope it's not foolish. It's clear that Major League Baseball is headed for a shutdown, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer, I went to 9 games in Scranton and watched our minor league team.
Right.
It was fantastic. I loved it. The question I have for you is, if the big leagues shut down, do the minor leagues keep playing?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so then we have baseball to go watch.
Yes, you don't have the best players in the world. You have the second level.
Well, we both know that, but we get to see the prospects and their love for the game and how hard they work and trying to prosper to get to a point. I was in that position, Michael. I was drafted by the Dodgers in 1976, so I love watching these kids. Anyway, it's a toss-up between you and David Cohn as to who knows more about baseball, and I'm betting on you.
No. Rico, you'd lose that bet. David Cohn is brilliant. Not only does he have 5 world championships and performed at the highest level, but he's one of the older players, former players, that has adjusted and has embraced totally the analytic craze. He understands it and is able to explain it. That's what makes our broadcast so good. It's David Cohn. It's not even close. But you don't know more. Anybody who's an expert on the game, and I consider myself somewhat of it.
Improved his team. You got Grisham back. You didn't need Grisham. You could have used that money to maybe give a little more to get Belly back already. It's essentially they're going to bring back the same team. You get Belly, it's the same team. I don't care.
Well, let me stop you for 1 second. Let me stop you for 1 second. So you say they can't win a World Series in Anthony Volpe, right? He was a starting shortstop on a team that went to the World Series and did quite well in it and hit a grand slam. So
he hit a grand slam, but look at his numbers last year in the postseason. He had like 2 hits out of 14 at bats.
Yeah, but he was hurt.
He got hot. He got lucky.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you because he has not performed like they thought he would. They think he's better than he is. They think he's better than he's shown. So they're gonna continue to ride it, and they've got a lot of young shortstops in the system.
It's going to be the same team as last year. They couldn't beat the Blue Jays. They can't beat the top teams. Grisham can't hit good pitching in the playoffs. Jazz struggles sometimes in the playoffs. Wells can't hit good pitch in the playoffs. It's going to be the same lineup.
Yeah, but how do you make that broad scope? Because before last year, everybody said that about Judge. How did he do last year?
No, he had a good team. I'm not saying that, but the Yankees only got to the World Series because they faced Kansas City and Cleveland.
But everybody keeps saying that, but you don't get to choose who you face. That's who they face. That's the way it played out.
But the Blue Jays are going to be there again, and we both know it. If they're healthy, they're going to be there again, and the Yankees are not beating the Blue Jays.
Why? Why do you say they're not beating the Blue Jays? I don't understand how you could say that.
The Blue Jays could out-hit them. They could out-hit them. The Yankees cannot out-hit the Blue Jays. I don't care how great Cole is. I don't care how great Max Fried is. Then it's not going to happen.
Well, then why did they win the same amount of games last year? If they're so much better than the Yankees.
When they play head-to-head, it wasn't as, maybe at home the Yankees got a couple games, but when they went to Toronto, the Yankees could not touch them.
No. The Blue Jays kicked their butt head-to-head, Anthony, but both teams won 94 games. So you can't say one team is so much better than the other.
Well, the postseason, it looked like that. It looked like the Blue Jays were
Well, you know what? The Blue Jays, they beat up on they beat up on the Mariners, too. The Blue Jays were great. The Blue Jays are an outstanding team. But to say that they have no chance to beat them, and then to say there's no way you could get to a World Series in Anthony Volpe when they did just that 2 years ago. I think the rope on Volpe is going to be very short this year. At the beginning of the year, you're going to have Jose Caballero or Oswaldo Cabrera play shortstop. And if at the end of April, when Anthony's ready to come back, and either of those two players is batting .350, I'm not sure they'll give him the job back right away. This is the last year, I think, that he's got a lot of latitude. If he hits .210 again, then they probably pivot and bring up Lombard or one of their other shortstop that they like in the minor leagues, or they make a trade. It's not a Supreme Court justice appointment. He's not there for life. They see stuff that we don't see. I've had these arguments with Aaron Boone privately. This guy, remember when he said to Meredith, in that interview at Citi Field, Anthony's bleeping elite. He wasn't elite last year. But I'm telling you, the Yankees think higher of him than you do and that the numbers show. That's why he's still here. Because they don't think he's a bust. You guys think he's a bust. The numbers would indicate he's nowhere close to what you thought he was going to be for a first-round draft pick. But he has had his moments. So it's funny. You want to just kill the guy. So when I said to Anthony he did really well in the postseason too, oh, that was a small sample. So, okay, so then you can say the same thing about the players that struggle in the postseason. Well, it's a small sample size. You can't have it both ways. Because he did do quite well in the postseason in 2024. He was one of their better players. And I love the way everybody wants to diminish a trip to the World Series, an American League pennant, while they just beat the Royals and the Guardians. Well, that's who they had to play. That's who they had to play. It's not Stratomatic. You don't choose the teams that you want to play. It's where you finish, where they finish, where you line up. Maybe this year, somebody takes care of the Blue Jays for you. You never know. The Red Sox almost beat the Yankees. Then the conversation would be completely different if they lost in the first round. But to say that they can't compete with the Blue Jays, I don't understand it. They can't compete. Last year would tell you the Blue Jays kicked their butts. But they were non-competitive? The Yankees were non-competitive? They have no chance. I don't see it. And as I said earlier, I don't think the Blue Jays got better. If anything, they treaded water. They tread water. They've not gotten better. If they brought back Bichette with the addition of Cease, with the addition of Ponce and Okamoto, then you can say, okay, they probably got a little better. They didn't get better. They're about the same. Just like if the Yankees get back Bellinger, they're about the same. Go to Freddie in Manhattan. Freddie.
Michael, always enjoy the show. I'm in line with the other callers about the Steinbrenner should sell the team. Unfortunately, the Yankee legacy isn't what it used to be. And even if the player wanted to play there, the players' union and the agents run the salaries. I think most Yankee fans wouldn't care if Putin ran the team as long as they paid or overpaid for players. Mm-hmm. And why does Steinbrenner have to go public with his hat in his hand saying, we got to keep salaries down? I don't hear the owners of the Dodgers or the Mets or the Blue Jays saying that. So maybe it's worse than we think it is. But I think the way it's looking now, you have to be a billionaire, multi-billionaire to stay ahead of the game here. Look at this past week, the Mets outbid them for a international player that the Yankees supposedly had. He had already signed to go to the Yankees. The Mets gave him more money, and he's signing with the Mets. I mean, This stuff can't happen. You got to keep up the legacy of the Yankees, at least financially, and sell it to someone who could just blow everybody away. I mean, of any team in sports, I think the Yankees deserve to blow everybody away.
Why do they deserve that?
It's the most important franchise in sports.
Oh, but the Dodgers aren't important?
Well, they're important, but it's New York. I mean, you can't hold your hat in your hand.
Listen, Freddie, I love the fact that you love the Yankees, but, I mean, they're not an anointed franchise where they deserve to blow everybody away. And Hal Steinbrenner's family, they're billionaires. They're billionaires. But they're not billionaires like Cohen and not like Guggenheim Partners. If there's a cap, it's a different story. If it's the same system, then we could have a discussion about it. But when you say the legacy is not what it used to be, you don't know what the definition of a legacy is. The legacy remains the same. They've won 27 world titles. The legacy doesn't change. Now, if you want to say the present thought about the franchise, if you think differently about them, but their legacy hasn't changed. Everybody is in their rearview mirror when it comes to total World Series. It's still considered the most valuable franchise in sports. The legacy has changed. No, it hasn't. Legacy doesn't change. You built a legacy. Do some football when we get back. I'll give you 2 picks for the 4 games this weekend, so stay tuned for that. More of your phone calls as well. Then at 3 o'clock is Don Hahn and the other guy coming up to break it down as well. FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the divisional round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. More boosts mean more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchups you believe in, take your shot on an upset, or build a parlay that fits the moment. Can New England continue to impress and beat Houston? Will the Bears beat the Rams in frigid, chilly Chicago? Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling. So visit FanDuel.com/local and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
All right, it's time for a two-pack for sure. I had a good week last week, first week of the playoffs. I was 2-0, so I'm 500 on the season. Here are my two picks. I'm going to take the 49ers, getting 7 over Seattle. Now, Seattle beat the 49ers 13-3 when they were essentially playing for the NFC West and for the bye. But the 49ers went to Philadelphia and won that game, so they're feeling good about each other. Also, they did lose George Kittle, but they lost him in the first quarter of that game and still found enough. They lose player after player. Fred Warner is not playing this week. If they win this game, he'll play probably in the NFC Championship game. They've lost so many people on defense and offense, and they just have a next guy stepping up type of way to it. Also, I want to see Sam Darnold in a big game. When he was at the Vikings and he played in the postseason, he was sacked 9 times. They lost 27-9 to the Rams. He also has an oblique injury. In week 1, San Francisco did beat Seattle 17-13. Seattle has got a great defense. They should be able to slow down the 49ers, but the 49ers defense is very opportunistic, and they could turn over Sam Darnold. I kind of think that the Seahawks will win. I think 7 is a little bit too big of a number, so give me the 49ers. I'll take the 7. My second game, give me the Patriots in New England, and I'm going to give 3 to the Texans. Bad weather. They're supposedly wind gust up to 30 miles an hour. The real feel is going to be in single digits. So the Texans, an indoor team from Houston, is going to have to play in really cold weather. They played in cold weather in Pittsburgh last week. They persevered, but the Steelers are not the team that the Patriots are. Nico Collins still in concussion protocol. C.J. Stroud, you heard what Chris Sims said yesterday, played about as poor a game as you could play and still win against the Steelers. 2 fumbles, an interception, almost another interception as well. 3 of the Texans offensive linemen, they're on an injury report. They might play, but they are on the injury report right now. I think the Patriots win this game. I think they win by a touchdown, so I'll give the 3 to the Texans. Again, my 2-pack for sure. Give me the 49ers with the 7 points in Seattle, and give me the Patriots giving the 3 points in New England against the Texans. Knicks played terribly last night. They were up by 17 early, and they got blown out by the Warriors. Cat was pushed around by Draymond Green. No Brunson. They did not have a great West Coast swing. They lost to Sacramento. They lost to Golden State as well. So we'll see exactly how they right the ship. Their defense hasn't been good, and they just simply did not play that well last night. John Harbaugh still is not signed. They're dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Everything that we hear, there's nothing structurally wrong or a big disagreement. It's all about language, which is what contracts of this size are going to be about. So by the time we come back and talk to you on Monday at 1 o'clock, it'll probably be done, and they'll probably have a press conference at the Giants facility on Tuesday. If they don't, then we could say there are problems. But this seems normal for a contract of this size. Let's go to Henry in South Carolina. Henry.
Michael, but real quick, before I get to my point, this type of acrimony between you and Peter really breaks my heart. I'm offering my services as a third-party mediator to work this out so we can get the family back together.
You know what? Henry, he's just an ingrate. That's all there is to it. So people think that I want him to bow down to me. He says things 1 year, and then when I could be no longer useful of him, then obviously then he says other things. He's just an ingrate. That's all there is to it. But I'm fine with him.
Complain if we live through the dynasty era. Fine, I'll wear that. But I don't like things that are making us feel uneasy about a work stoppage happening, because if we lose games, then I'm going to be upset. Do you think that we are, in your experience, do you think that we are headed down this path, or is this just a lot of talk that happens before every CBA happens?
I believe, Henry, we are headed down this path. I think that when you have big market owners like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, and maybe even the Mets that want a a limit to what you could spend because of what the Dodgers are doing. I think that there's a possibility there's going to be a work stoppage because they're the only major sport without a cap. Now, I don't believe in a cap. I think you should be able to earn whatever you want, but every other sport does have a cap, and that's what the owners are probably going to present to the players. I think that Buster has it right. The length of the lockout or the loss of games is going to depend on if the rank and file of the players vote against it. I think the executive committee, the rich players, the ones that are represented by Boris, they'll probably recommend not ratifying any kind of deal like that. But I think the rank and file might. But if they hold together, then you might miss a whole year. And as for, Bregman, again, the Yankees have looked at Bregman, even when he signed with the Red Sox, and they don't think that his swing plays in left field at Yankee Stadium. It just doesn't. They had no interest in Bregman. They did not have much of an interest in Tucker. For some reason, and I disagree with this, they didn't have much of an interest in Bichette. I would have had an interest in Bichette. So they haven't lost anybody that they've wanted. Let's see what happens with Bichette, and hopefully when we come back on Monday, there'll be some resolution to that. Bichette right now is the best free agent hitter left on the market. Framber Valdez is the best pitcher. All right, Don Hahn and the other guy coming up in just a moment. I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. And I will be on Monday on the holiday. I'll be on at 1 o'clock. Hope you could join me then. And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.
At PC Richard & Son, we don't just sell you appliances. We show you what they can do and how the features work. Because service isn't just selling